Hi guys, quick update here for our altcoin of this bull market. Pino is 15th of December 2024. Hope everyone's doing great. So if you want to join the group, everything's here. Pay via crypto, and there's a Black Friday discount code still ongoing due to the demand. We want to cover Pino here, which was our Verge. As you know, from 7 years ago, we called some of the greatest calls in the history of mankind here. The 30x, 50x moves in Digibyte, Verge, BitShares. It's all over here on YouTube. YouTube have tried to delete as much as they can, but they cannot delete historical facts. And here we've been in Pino for over a month now, so there's people in the group who are printing millions of dollars here, like FX Lifestyle. I mean, this is literally, the greatest call in the history of mankind. I mean, this is up, I think it's 29,000%. So we got in here at 0.002, and it's only up 30x, right? But as you can see, we've got targets here at 1 USD. So, but when all is said and done, this will be even a bigger call than Verge. That's a 43,000% move. So if you've been following YouTubers who aren't able to give you that alpha, I mean, let's just look at the big dog here. How long has it taken Bitcoin to go up 43,000%? So let's just do a bit of reverse analysis here, right? I mean, you're gonna have to go back to 2013. Let's just say Bitcoin goes sideways indefinitely here, for 43,000%. So Pino has outperformed the last 3,493 days of Bitcoin, and the Nvidia call, once again, the single greatest stock call in the history of mankind. I mean, it's the greatest stock in the history of mankind, and Pino has outperformed the last, let's have a look here. You have to go around about, I'm trying to get 43,000 here. That's a little bit too much. That's being a bit silly there, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, we've outperformed the last 4,263 days. This is why you never listen to people who only buy Bitcoin. You never listen to baby boomer zoomers, and you never listen to people who buy crappy SPY index funds. So what has Pino outperformed the life of a boomer? Let's have a look, right? The average boomer is ticking away here, probably around 78 years old. So I actually need to work this out. Has this Pino outperformed the S&P? Well, I think it's outperformed the life of every boomer on the planet. Close. Let's just say they were born after here. So I mean, we're very, very close. I don't think there's a baby boomer alive here. 44. Let's just do some quick maths here. So that's 55 plus 24. Okay, fine. So there's a couple of boomers still probably in their 80s. So we've outperformed the last. What is that? You're going back to the Second World War there. For those who have been to kindergarten. So we've outperformed everything the S&P has done since the end of the Second World War. So if you're not taking this masterclass, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because how else can we figure out a move like Pino, 23 bajillion% in the space of how long? How long is that? So we've outperformed everything since the Second World War, and we've done that in 77 days. So everything's here on YouTube. Single greatest calls of all time, history of mankind. I mean, that was a 10,000% move in weekly options in 2 days. This pretty much got to 48. Let's be honest, it was pretty much there. I mean, no one really cares. Like I never said it was going to go to make all-time new highs. It's pretty much hit 50. Obviously, Goldman Sachs knows how high. They know everything I know. So 48, 50. That's the same thing. And then obviously we've made calls here. 40,000 on the Dow 7 years ago. What's the Dow doing now? Going straight towards 50,000. But anyway, let's go into Pino. So if you want to educate yourself, you never know, you might learn something. Actually learning a new skill that will benefit you, because there might come a point in time in the very near history where the markets will change. They'll start to go sideways, perhaps down, perhaps crash, perhaps go back up again, short squeeze. You need to understand the mechanics of how things work. Anyone who doesn't understand Elliott wave, they will never be able to frame the market. And if you don't understand volume, everything that I teach here, how will you know to analyze supply and demand? That's your job. Too many people follow fundamentals and the news and the economy, whilst on some level, some of that might be important. It's too lagging. It's too lagging. If you're dealing with something like Pino, it's outperformed the S&P since Second World War in 77 days. No good looking at the fundamentals. Trust me, there aren't any, right? It's a meme coin. One of these days, it's going to crash to zero, but we're not there yet because we've got 5 animated videos per week. So if someone in the comment section can organize another raid, please get those sorted. Top 5 KEX listing. I mean, no one's talking about it. All the big heroes are too focused on XRP and XLM. And fine, we've made money on that. It's going to go much, much higher. But we have to find the verge. We have to find the million X altcoin. We've got millionaires getting printed here, left, right, and center in the group. So if you're not in the group and you don't want to join, that's fine. At least educate yourself. And that's just the start, by the way. Right, then we've got, indicators and oscillators. These are secondary indicators. That's why I've shoved it into one module. People out here selling courses that they do, 20 modules on indicators. There's no need. I've chosen the top 10, and that's in one module. And I've done that purposely. 1 out of 48 laws of power are basically indicators. They are secondary indicators. What is a gap? False gap, true gap. Then you've got 5 on actual price action. If you don't understand support and resistance, how to draw levels, what a shakeout pattern is, special patterns, and how to set limit orders, then obviously you're not going to get anywhere, right? So we analyze how to frame the market, analyze supply and demand, what secondary indicators, and then how to execute your trade. Then we go into Wyckoff, right? When is something actually going to happen, right? When is very important. When is Pino going to hit $1? Well, look at the way it's moving. It could hit $1 by the end of this video. Obviously, we've done the time analysis in the group. We know exactly when to get out. When is Bitcoin going to top? No good saying it's going to get to 200K. When? And we're going to come back to the when in a minute. Once again, risk management. It's in one module. That's it. No need to spend, lifetimes here going over risk management. Everyone understands 1, 2, 3% of their trade. We explain with one spreadsheet. So these 2 modules, risk management and indicators, I purposely put them into one module. That's 4%. Is just these modules that people will spend ages talking about. They're not important. Psychology, one module. No need to be more than that. We need to go more than that, right? We don't want to waste our time on psychology and risk management. They're only a couple of modules and that's it. Then we go into auction market theory, things that I never discuss on YouTube, because I'm giving too much away. The works of John Dalton from 1970, standard deviations, Gaussian distribution. How do we actually frame a market? What does volume profile actually mean? There's a constant auction going place involving the 3 variables. What are they? What are the 3 variables that we're always talking about here? Price, time, volume. Right? It's like X, Y, Z. Right? Space-time continuum, right? So it's there's only 3 variables here, and once you understand all 3, that's it. You've clocked the entire market. Once again, 3 detailed modules on that, right? And then we keep on going, right? Swing plays, sentiment, correlated markets. Then we've got special patterns which I've used, trading in volatility, right? The altcoins have got Bitcoin's 100% realized market. The altcoins are 20% more volatile than the average stock. Compare Pino to ExxonMobil. It's 50 times the volatility. I don't think ExxonMobil has done anything probably the last 50 million years. I think it's still going sideways, yeah. So let me just check here. How long has ExxonMobil been going sideways for? Let's just have a look here. Yeah, that's right. 79 million years, since the age of the dinosaurs. That is not investing. This is the manuscript for failure, other than reading the Financial Times, to quote Anton Creel, the GOAT. The manuscript for failure is to listen to a boomer and buy ExxonMobil. It's done nothing, right? Pino has outperformed everything since the Second World War. There's no time to buy ExxonMobil and buy these waste of time stocks that do nothing, right? Other than maybe 50 or 60 stocks in the S&P 500. 440 of them are just doing nothing. Waste of time. No time for that. Too much opportunity cost in being in the wrong thing at the wrong time. And then finally, once again, journaling. That's one module. No need to go to town on that. Then we go into futures. Actual futures trading can be used for Bitcoin futures, although this is mainly focused on the NQ and the ES, which is obviously the S&P futures and the Nasdaq futures, but can be used for oil, bonds, whatever, ZB, and obviously Forex futures too. But it can easily be used in Bitcoin. The concepts are the same concepts across any futures contract. Then obviously options, which is very big in the US and around the world, perhaps not so much in Europe, but still everyone has access. It's an international market. These are the patterns that you need to know. These are the different strategies. You don't need to know more than that. People out here doing 2-1 ratio spreads, those are very, very difficult. That have been making puts on both sides. Those are very difficult. We teach risk-defined strategies and more higher risk plays. No need to learn ratio spreads there. Honestly, vertical spreads like 90% of it. Then how to trade earnings, and then finally we're just finishing it off here towards the end. So unbelievable masterclass. Honestly, I'm giving it away. And then the group is also there too. Anyway, let's get off the manuscript for failure that is ExxonMobil. But obviously in the group we cover everything. We don't just cover crypto. Crypto has a tendency to do nothing for a very long time. And then when it starts moving, that's obviously where the big focus is. So we're still looking at the one USD. I mean, that is like I said, when all is said and done, by the time we got in, if you were to take it from the actual low, that is the single greatest coin in the history of mankind if it gets to $1. So it's already beaten Bitcoin and Pepe and Nvidia and everything else. Obviously, we got in a little bit later, but we still got in before anyone. No one's talking about it. And if the move gets extended, we could go to $10 here. But we're still looking at $1. That is the price target. I see no reason to be changing that. We're forming short-term, a few 3-4s, bit of a poor high up here. We formed this over the weekend, so a bit of a consolidation, bull flag here, triangle pennant formation. So that's just A, B, C, D, E. That's just ready to rock and roll and go straight through that. So definitely no type of topping formation. Likely everyone's missed the move because they don't watch the greatest YouTube channel in the history of mankind, which is quite worrying really, since I've given it away. But that is the one, so that would be the larger super cycle one, and then obviously we got 3, 4, 5. So in the case of extreme FOMO, if Pino gets declared as a new world reserve currency, I think it's actually going to outperform Bitcoin. Let me just have a look here. I am fascinated by this. If it from top to bottom, is that actually going to take out Bitcoin? Let's just write that down there. So what is that? That's 2 million %. Bitcoin surely has beaten that. Surely Pino's not the greatest asset in the history of mankind, but it's done that in 195 days, and Bitcoin's obviously taken 10 years, maybe 15 years to get that. This would be rather funny, because this little wick doesn't count, by the way. But let's just run it from 0.03, because I've never included this wick in any of my long-term analysis, because just whilst we're here, if you include this wick, the eventual target for Bitcoin, once this, I can't give it away. You're going to have to join the group. We have analyzed. We know exactly what's going to happen, by the way, between now and the end of the decade. I know exactly what's going to happen to the T. I've not accounted for this wick. So this wick is not countable. I've counted it from this low here, which is 0.03 rather than 0.01. But let's see, what has Bitcoin actually done since the beginning of time? Well, there you go then. How much is that? Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I can see why, right? So Pino's not in the same league, right? Wow, that is actually pretty impressive, man. Well done to the OGs. If there's anyone listening to this who bought Bitcoin 15 years ago, I rated you back in 2017, and I'm rating you again. Just got a message there. That's it from another Facebook group millionaire who's obviously holding Pino. So we'll just put that on silent there. That is absolutely unbelievable. Let me see if we've got this right. So that's 2 million %. Wow, that is genuinely. I've never actually pulled it up on the. That is actually ridiculous, to be honest. I've never actually done this. So how much is that? Right. Okay. So yeah. Fine. It's it's not a Bitcoin, but I think the fact that it's outperformed the S&P since the Second World War, that's good enough for me, and it's done that in 77 days. So, Bitcoin is incredible, absolutely incredible. But, since the first YouTube video, let's be honest, it's been law of diminishing returns. All we need from Bitcoin is to identify, is it in an uptrend or a stagnation or a downtrend? And then is it going to consolidate and then go back up again? During the down phases, obviously, you want to be very careful with the altcoins. But when Bitcoin is booming like it is now, about to make an all-time new high, probably in the next couple of days, 103,000 here. You really want to leverage that opinion using altcoins. But that is absolutely incredible. 15 million%. Let me just pull up NVIDIA since the genesis. I've never actually done this before. I've never actually calculated it. So from the all-time low, it's not it's not in the same league, but so at least Pino has outperformed the greatest stock in human history, which unbelievably still is not done. Anyway, let's go back to Pino. So I think we've identified why you should be watching this YouTube channel regularly and having a look at the group access there. So what else is there to say? So 1 into a 2, huge correction there on the wave 2. It's a bull flag. We're looking for continuation higher. And like I said, we're going to $1. So there's not much else to really say. I mean, it's very hard to call that top. Obviously, we've got targets along the way, and we will be shaving off. That's what you do. You shave off into that strength because there's not enough liquidity at $1 because everyone's going to be selling there. So you shave off into that strength. We're not going to be shaving off at 7 cents, obviously. But as we go higher and higher and higher, we're going to be slowly layering out, selling it to the dumb gimps who are probably going to watch this video in about 4 weeks' time. Well, that's their loss. So 1 2 1 2 and 1 2 and obviously 3 4 3 4 3 4. So there's probably going to be a wave 3 around about here somewhere, around 4 and then into a 5. But if you want the exact precise count, come and join the group. Everything's there. And like I said, Black Friday discount. Take advantage of the education whilst it's there. The traditional educational system isn't designed to benefit you. It was run by corporations, designed by corporations to create a conveyor belt of obedient debt slaves. So you need to always learn a new skill. You have to learn a new skill. Investing is the most important skill. I don't care if you're investing in the stocks or futures or forex or crypto, the patterns are the same. The only thing that is different to any of this would be real estate, obviously, but we don't talk about real estate here. This is not, you can't, I mean, even then you could easily Elliott wave and Fibonacci house prices very, very easily, but it would, I can't teach you how to real estate invest. That's not what we're doing here. We're teaching you how to read a chart, and everything can be charted, absolutely everything. From inflation to interest rates to yields, they all follow the same patterns. Once you know the patterns, once you know how it all works, and you understand the games that get played by the financial media, which are a very big part of this, because if those games didn't get played, people will never be get caught offside. So if you've never made any money and you've been investing here, I mean, we've had people recently join the group who were up 10x in Pino, and they've said to me they've made more money the last 2 weeks than they have the last 10 years of investing. And that's because they've only just heard about Elliott wave. But it's not just about Elliott wave. We've got to put the whole picture together. Otherwise, it would have just been a 7-module masterclass. But it's 48 laws of power here. This is Robert Greene sponsored. Respect to the GOAT. This is Sun Tzu Art to War right here. Honestly, I'm giving it away. Anyway, Pino, I don't think there's anything more to update, but if anyone in the comment section has anything on Pino, any particular wave count, I don't think you can share charts on YouTube comments, but any kind of input here into the fundamentals, which I'll really like to read, because there really isn't much there. It's all hype, it's all herd mentality. They've got a good following on TikTok, Instagram, and obviously Twitter. We're looking at more and more heroes who are jumping on, but they've all missed the move. I mean, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it will have outperformed the S&P since the Second World War. Obviously, it's very much short of Bitcoin, which is currently up 365 million% since the genesis, which is absolutely incredible. I never knew it was that high. But to outperform Nvidia, I mean, that is just unbelievable. But Bitcoin's at 100k. Even if it goes 200k in this cycle, which it won't, I don't believe it will. I mean, that's a double. So Pino's doubled since the last YouTube video. So, there's no harm in taking a bit of Bitcoin, leveraging that opinion. Obviously, no one's disputing Bitcoin is always the daddy. It's always number one. It's got the best fundamentals, and we get that. We've known that since 17. But at times when Bitcoin's rallying, obviously retail are flowing into Bitcoin. So smart money is taking some of that Bitcoin, allocating to the altcoins, doubling or tripling their Bitcoin amount, and then shoving it back into Bitcoin. There's nothing wrong with that. I find people are too much in love with Bitcoin. At times when altcoins are rallying, there's no harm in taking 5, 6, 7%. I mean, just Solano. This is going to be a really long video here. I mean, we've got a guy in the group. He's 10 million he's made here on Solana. How can he possibly make that kind of money? Because he didn't even go in with that much. Well, that was because he bought here when we were buying to the group. When everyone's off, on their holidays, unfortunately, at low liquidity times, that's Boxing Day there 2 years ago. It's at $4. And, I don't want to give away who it is. He doesn't mind. Obviously, during this time, the rest of the group were buying Zion Bank, Western Alliance, KRE, and all the banking system stocks, right? And even Nvidia. But he was adamant, right, we're going to go to $1,000. That was the call here. No good telling me it's going to go to $1,000 here. It's too late. So we create these courses. We don't need to sell courses here, by the way, in case everyone's clocked on. I don't need to sell any of this. I'm giving it away, frankly, right? Because I feel like people should be educated by learning a new skill. Because unfortunately, 2025 and 2026 are going to be challenging years. Where you really need to have a good skill set to navigate through the market, right? Obviously, S&P's rallying, Tesla, Google, Nvidia. So there will come a point where it's gonna find some resistance, right? Sooner rather than later. So you need to know how to navigate through that. It's real sad when I see people invest in pensions, hold cash in savings accounts, and I think, why do you do that? Fine, real estate. Tried and tested formula, it doubles every 10 years, fine. I could pretty much get with that. But to hold cash, not even in gold or in art or in diamonds or any precious metal, just holding cash in a bank account, in a savings account, and to not invest, honestly, incredibly frustrating, the things that I hear when people share things about their investing thesis. But, the guy bought a fall. That's an incredible move. 2,400%. So where's Pino come from? It's taken advantage of the Solano craze. Solano meme coins, that is the big deal for this bull market here. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because we're just going off on a tangent here. So if you want to join the group, everything's there. Group is approaching its limit, by the way, so we are going to be closing off group sign-ups here for the rest of the year and for the foreseeable future. And with the masterclass, take advantage of the course. Honestly, I'm giving it away. People have purchased this masterclass the last week, and they've gone into Pino, and literally they've 10x their money, and they've paid it off. It's pretty incredible, and we discuss it all within the educational framework there. So Pino, nothing to really worry about. Obviously, we're looking at this every single day in the group, and we're navigating through the blockchain and trying to figure out when exactly is this going to top. There's nothing here in the chart to suggest an imminent top. We're still looking at higher. Long may it continue, and like I said, when all is said and done, this may very well have outperformed the SPX since WW2.